Combat USA, bringing you MMA looking state to state for the top 8 here on prime time, putting it all on the line for this one chance, for this one moment to stand up and shine. Combat USA, we're here to stay. Top 8 to the state. Let us try it. Bitch, train real hard. Mixed martial arts. Adrenaline pumping. No holds barred. Combat USA, we're here to stay. Top 8 to the state. Let us try it. Bitch, train real hard. Mixed martial arts. Adrenaline pumping. No holds barred. Got G's on the table. Best believe those that are able to stand and show their skill will grab your soul by the root and recruit to the chosen few. To stand up in ground is just what we do. You may think that you're fast to take a deal with the Jiu-Jitsu master, and it could be a disaster. To untrained technique, this is not for the weak. You get put to sleep if you're not ready for the fight. Stay in stance, cause I've got heavy hands. Best believe I can dance. I've got plans for that ring. I don't care about the blink. I need the championship of it. I need to show the whole world that I love it. Combat USA, we're here to stay. Top 8 to the state.
Welcome to Combat USA Fighting Championship. I'm your host, Adam Sandoval, and with me returns Josh Kasee.
How you guys doing?
All right, so Josh, we just had our March 5th fight at Oneida Casino, and we got to see who's going to be moving on in all the brackets to the state finals, one of which is going to be your upcoming opponent, Nick Aguilar, and we also saw a bunch of other guys fight as well. So we're going to get into a few different things here. We're going to talk about the state finals as a whole. We're going to talk about March 5th and what happened there, also the undercards and your position. What do you think?
Well, I think I got a lot of input for that because I was there, I seen it, and I'm excited to talk about it and let everybody in Wisconsin know about these upcoming fights and these finals because they're going to be explosive.
What do you think about my Rocky shirt?
You know, I kind of want one. I probably would have went with pink, but, you know, that's just me.
Well, I'm a big fan. I think he would have won the state finals last year had he not hurt his shoulder prior to the fight.
Right, you know, you come in a fight, you know, injuries, you can't expect to win.
No, most guys come in 100%.
Right, I come in like 120% every time, so.
All right, let's move on. Let's start with the undercard, or I'm sorry, the lower bracket of March 5th, and that starts out with the 145-pound class. This is your class, Josh. Jeff Lavalle and Clay Conrad. Clay Conrad won by submission at 47 seconds into round 2 via the rear naked choke. See the fight?
Yeah, I witnessed that fight. He stuck to what he knows, and he went in there and finished the job, so I got to give him props for that. He knows what he's good at, and he went in there and dominated. I'm not much of a ground guy. I don't enjoy it too much, and but, you know, my hat's off to Clay, so great job, Clay.
Yeah, he did a good job. He went in there and pulled off what he did. It is a learning experience, and you know, he learned. He did a good fight for what he did, and for the caliber of fight he had on his hands, he definitely performed. You know, he's got a good start, a 1-0 start to his professional career, and
Right.
That's a heck of a way to start out any fight at all. So
Yeah, so Clay did a great job, and I'm not taking anything away from him. He knows that his hands weren't there too well, so he stuck to what he knew.
Sure. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong at all, Josh, with you pointing out what you see in holes in people's games. That's part of the reason we bring you professionals on here, is to get your insights. What did you see that maybe the next guy didn't see? And in this case, it was you saw, you know, head movement and hand movement in the striking department that maybe needs some adjustment. And I'm sure Clay will review the footage, see probably the same thing, and go back and start working on that for his camp.
Right.
So congratulations, Clay, on your win, and look forward to seeing you fight again. Andrew Trace versus Trey Micknack. Trace won 2 minutes, 28 seconds, round 1 via armbar. You see this one, Josh?
Yeah, it happened pretty fast. I don't know, the fight wasn't really too exciting. It was mainly a lot of ground. You know, I'm going to take you down. I'm not going to hit you too much. And he just got a little too slippery. It looked like he got frustrated on the bottom there. And that's when he started flailing, trying to get back up. And that's when he exposed the arm. And he got caught. So it's thing with jiu-jitsu and when you're on the ground, the thing is not to get too overhyped, not to get too excited. You know, think about your next moves. Don't try to explode and overpower the guy because he's going to armbar you, or he's going to choke you out, or ankle pick you. You know, there's dozens of things he can do to you. the number one thing you got to do is stay calm in there and think about his next move before you make yours.
Like chess, they say.
Yeah, exactly like chess. And I suck at chess, but I'm a great fighter. So
Same strategy though.
right, same strategy.
Got to think ahead. So yeah, that was an unfortunate break for Trey. I'm glad he showed up and performed and took the fight. Andrew Trace is a tough guy, man. He's got some good wins underneath his belt, and he's climbing the ranks fast. So I think we're going to see a lot of Andrew Trace throughout the rest of this year and next year. I think that's going to be a name that Wisconsin you should watch for. He's going to be an up-and-comer.
I agree.
Put some money on that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the amateur fighters that fought on this night. Actually, some great fights this night. I mean, one of them went to a decision. The other one went into the second round. Both of them very game amateurs. I think it really shows that the level of competition in mixed martial arts is just growing every day.
Oh, yeah.
And
I personally know the two guys that fought, the two amateur cards. I trained with them, Metz's Combat Club. And they're both tough guys. One of them came out on top victorious. Greg Sakala wasn't so lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But, we just got some more stuff we need to work on with him and
yeah,
refine a little bit better. But my hat's off to Jordan, man. He went in there and fought, won by decision. But he was in some really tight positions where, he could have got caught.
Yeah.
Could have been done and could have tapped. But he reversed. He fought a ground guy and beat him at his own game. So
yeah,
I'm real proud of that kid.
Yeah. Jordan Winsky did very good, and Seth Clemens is a tough kid. He's fought for us before.
Right.
He's young, he's fresh, he's a great ground guy. But Jordan took home the victory this time. And at 165 pounds, Greg Zakula fell to Chris Alexander, 2 minutes 39 seconds via armbar in the second round. So, but that's what these amateurs are all about. We put 2 amateurs on each card. It just gives guys a chance to get in there and get exposure. MMA in Wisconsin has changed dramatically in the last year. The fights just aren't there. The cards just aren't there. There's not as many promotions out there. And these amateurs aren't getting the places that they used to have to get their experience. So we try to throw at least 2 of them on each card, give back to the community, let the newer guys get their experience, gives a good time for the crowd to get warmed up. And, you'll notice looking at the screens that they have different color gloves. They've got red gloves. They're thicker. It's a little bit different design. Some of the rules are modified. There's some differences for the amateurs you'll see, but overall the fights were exciting.
Right, and I'd just like to tell everybody, look out for this Alexander guy, Chris Alexander, because he finished this fight with an arm triangle from the top, and usually to finish that, you gotta get off the side control and walk around like a clock. He laid right on mount, grabbed him up, squeezed him, and like I said, he was out, Greg Sakala, training partner of mine, but to get finished in a position like that, you gotta be a dominant ground guy. And I got to give my props to Chris on that one. So great job.
Sounds good to me, man. Yeah, that is an impressive arm triangle. I think I might have said arm bar earlier, but correction, yeah, arm triangle. Let's take this moment to go to commercial break. Speaking of casino, Oneida Casino brings all this action to you guys. Oneida Casino, we thank you very much. The MMA community thanks you, fighters and fans alike. Let's take a look at the rest of our sponsors as well.
4-Ounce Fight Gear, official sponsor of Combat USA. Developed for the fighters, by the fighters. Engineered specifically for today's top MMA fighters. It's not what you want, it's what you need.
It's what I need.
This is what I need.
For more info, check us out at 4ouncefightgear.com.
Bringing it 4 ounces at a time.
Enjoy an adventure filled with thrills and fun. Oneida Casino offers guests the excitement of first-class entertainment with non-stop casino action and the luxury of the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center.
Try your luck at slots and a variety of table games, plus high-stakes bingo, poker, and off-track betting.
Visitors to Oneida Casino will never go hungry, no matter what you're in the mood for.
Watch the area's best live entertainment free in the Oneida Casino Lounge.
Oneida Casino.
Fun is our game.
Combat USA Fighting Championship. We are MMA. Wisconsin State Finals, April 22nd, Oneida Casino.
Welcome back. I'm Josh Kasee here with Adam Sandoval, co-hosting the show Combat USA. We're here to talk about some of the upper bracket fights on Combat USA, and they're really exciting. Excited to tell Wisconsin all about them. So let's just jump right straight into it.
Let's do it, man.
We're gonna start out with the 145-pound class, which is me, and the fighters Nick Aguilar and Morgan Sickinger. So you were there. What do you think about that?
I think that, Morgan came out intense, strong. I think he really thought he was going to go in there and dominate this fight. Yeah. And I think he got overpowered. Seems like he got hit a couple times. I was really surprised at the way that fight ended. It seems to me Morgan is such a powerful ground guy mentally and knows the ground game. And for him to get submitted into that, it's almost like he turned into it. I was really kind of shocked at the way that rolled out. Yeah,
and once he was stuck in that position, it didn't look like he fought too hard to get out. I was there, I watched it, and he rolled from the mount. Got Aguilar back on his back, and he left his arm in there. But Aguilar, he took one arm and bent his arm down. I mean, if that means Morgan just gave up, or if Nick's really that good, which I don't think. Nick, sure, he got a lot of hype behind him, and I'm ready to fight him because what I've seen from that fight, it really wasn't too impressive. And, Morgan, he should have stuck to his game, a little bit more aggressive. He went in there and did it, like you said, he was aggressive. He put Aguilar up against cage, but he should have kept on him. He backed up. He gave Aguilar a chance to think about what he was going to do, which you don't. You don't give him a chance. You don't give him an inch, especially in fighting. And I think that's where Morgan went wrong, and, he fell short that fight. So,
yeah.
Hopefully he sticks in there and stays with it because he's a great fighter, and he just needs to refine his stand-up a little more.
He's a great fighter, man. And Nick Aguilar is undoubtedly a tough opponent. I mean,
yeah.
You're going against, a guy who is a threat at 55, nevertheless 45. He's got the experience. He's been around. Props to Morgan for going in there and giving it his best. This was Nick Aguilar's day. He went in there and took it. Nick Aguilar looked strong. I mean, even like you said, the way he moved his arm, now whether that was Morgan or Nick, either way it happened, and you got to say, Nick is strong, and just the people that have trained with him constantly go on about how strong he is. Do you think that's going to be an issue for you, or?
No, I train with guys that are 55, 70-pounders, on a daily basis. It's big, strong guys. I'm small and agile. You can't hold on to me. So he's going to get, you try to use his muscles, and if he thinks his strength is going to overcome me in this next fight, he's sadly mistaken. So you're going to have to, work just as hard, man. I'm not no chump. I'm not going to lay down. So be ready, Nick.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would mistake you for a chump, Josh. I think your footage in your fights have proven fairly well. I think it's going to be a great fight between you and Nick. I think, you've got the, rangy ability. I think you've got the speed and striking. I think Nick has got probably the experience, probably a little bit better ground game coming into this. We'll see how it plays out in the fight, but I think that's what his angle is going to be, his ground game. Do you think there's a chance of him standing and banging with you?
I sure hope so. I mean, it looked like he could have did anything with Morgan in there, so it looked like he wanted to go in there and beat Morgan at his own game, which he did. And, he might try to stand up with me and beat me in my own game. I pray that's the case because, that'll be another reel for my highlights.
So if Nick stands and bangs with you, you see just complete domination on your part?
Yeah, I see me frustrating him, and not total domination, peck, peck, peck. He's going to get mad. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to start making mistakes. And, you get frustrated. That's when you lose your cool. So I'm going to sit back, peck, take my time, and do what I do. That's exactly what I do. I sit back, I take my time away from my openings. I don't go out there and, try to open them up for me because that's when people get caught. And I don't want that. I want another state title underneath my belt. And I'm here 2 years in a row, running it back.
Right on, man. So if he tries to take you to the ground, what should we expect to see in Josh Kasee's game plan? Is it scramble to the feet? Is it try to wrestle with Nick? I mean, he's got a huge, ground pedigree. I mean, that's where he's most comfortable. Are you going to sit and toy with him down there, or are you going to constantly try to bring it back to the feet?
You know what? I'll see how he feels when we get down to the ground, but I like to think of myself as a well-rounded fighter.
Absolutely.
His ground might be a little bit better than mine, just because of his experience and the other shows he's fought on, but You know, we got Ron Faircloth training at the Combat Training Center now. I got a bunch of different guys that are willing to help me with my camp and working with black belts now. And I got 2 months to work on it, and, you know, work on holding position. And that's one thing I didn't see from Nick. He's real strong, real dominant, but he didn't hold the position for too long at all. And that's something you got to do in jiu-jitsu, being able to hold. So if he's out there bouncing around on top of me, you know, you never know. I might catch him in an armbar. So
Well,
expect anything, guys. It's not. I'm a stand-up guy, but I'm not afraid to choke anybody out.
No, you're not. I mean, I'm 220-some pounds. I'm pretty sure last time you and I rolled once there, I got caught in a surprise armbar that I didn't expect to see from Josh Kasee.
Right, and that's what I love about it, because people never expect that out of me.
No, I didn't see it coming a mile away. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about a couple other fights here. Let's look at the 155-pound James Warfield, Gary Bivens. James won 4 minutes, 49 seconds into round 1 via rear naked choke. My first take on this fight, guys, is James Warfield is scary. This guy is doing amazing things. He's a strong guy. They got up, they stood up, and you'll notice, looking at the footage, can we roll some footage here? You'll notice that, you know, James Warfield, see him tic-tacking around. He's not striking, he's not moving. All he's doing is watching the way Bivens moves. And you see him, a very popular word that James likes to say is he's taking pictures. He'll fake something, take a picture. You'll see right here, James fakes this punch and just sees how Bivens reacts, looking for those openings. And that's exactly James' game plan. But James wanted to show off his jiu-jitsu ability and his ground game that he's been working on ever so hardly, and decided to go on the ground with Bivens, where Bivens is supposed to be his best. And again, like you said with the Aguilar fight, decided to beat Bivens at his own game, and that's what he did. I didn't see a lot of aggression out of Bivens. I think Bivens is a great guy. I think he's a nice guy. He's a good fighter, but I think he was just a little bit outclassed.
I agree. I had the privilege of sparring with Warfield a couple days, and I know exactly what you're talking about with the pictures and getting people to react, and that's what kind of fighter he is. I mean, he lets you make your mistakes and he capitalizes on them. And that's how champions are made, and that's how champions win. And so if I could take a page out of his book, then, you know, it's mine. So thank you, James.
Yeah. Well, it's important. I mean, you know, if every time you go to throw a heavy hand, you see a guy, you know, drops his left hand, well, then you know you got, you know, opening for a head kick or a hook, or, you know. It's an intelligent way to fight. You know, a lot of times you see these amateurs going, they'll just come in all wild, boom, everything all at once. And you get to see you and James and more seasoned pros, and you notice that, you know, usually the first minute or so, it's a little bit more relaxed because you're feeling the other guy out. How does he move? What does he do? Does he flinch? Does he not flinch? Does he step in? Does he step out? And that probably makes all the world of a difference in a fight.
It sure does, and he knows that, and that's why he went in there and dominated him. Took him down. Once he felt comfortable with him, you know, he's taking his pictures and everything, he's seen him that, you know, he's seen any of these pictures he could have took. He could have knocked him out, but like you said, he wanted to go down there and beat him at his own game and show everybody that he does got a ground game, because a lot of people doubt his ground. And he's strong, stand up, ground, all around. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm not too worried about moving up in weight class, because I train with guys on higher weight classes than 45. So
Sure.
I feel really confident.
And how does that feel to you? I mean, how do you feel, you know, at the 45? You like it?
I like it. Yeah, there's it's a little less lenient, or a little more lenient. Sorry, and I don't know, I just only got to cut like 15 pounds now compared to like 20, 25. So it makes me feel like I'm not working as hard, because I had to work harder to cut the weight before. But, you know, I don't think that way anymore. Now I think I just got more time to refine my skills, and I don't have to cut weight. Where before I took 2 weeks cutting weight, now I take a week cutting weight, and the other week I got open to think about my ground game or my stand-up, you know, think about other aspects of my game, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, Josh. You have been known for years as the cardio king. I mean, Josh Kasee can go, and I've sat and watched you in I don't know how many classes. You can go for round after round after round after round of fresh guys. I mean, some of it, I won't give away all your training secrets, but I mean, some of the techniques you do to get yourself dizzy and tired so that you can fight a fresh guy while you're dizzy and tired, I mean, and just still continually move efficiently and well. Have you seen any effect on your gas tank at 45 versus 35?
Yeah, I've seen effects on it, but you know, it's been upper effects, not lower effects. I haven't taken anything away from me. My cardio has actually bumped up through the roof. I got a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. I'm, like I said, I don't have to worry about cutting weight or keeping my breath so much because at 45, I'm just more comfortable. I'm in my own skin. I'm out there doing it big, and I've noticed a little difference, but, then again, there's other parts of the 45 game that, I don't like. So I'm kind of half and half with that. Next year, I might consider moving back down, but we'll see how we do this year at 45, see how comfortable I am, and if I can, I'd like to stay here.
Awesome. Rob Roy versus James Warfield. How do you see that fight going?
James all the way. I'm a big fan of James Warfield. Rob Roy trains with ACS, Nick Aguilar, so that's my next opponent. So I love all the ACS guys, Gerald Mearshart, all of them. They're all great. Yeah, they're great guys.
They are.
And from the few times I've talked to Nick, he seems like a really great guy too. But when it comes to fighting, there's no friends in this game.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going with James Warfield because, like I said, I sparred with him a few times.
Do you think Rob Roy will stand with James Warfield? He says he's going to. Do you think he will? Or do you think it's just a ploy to try to get James to think he's going to stand so he can shoot on him?
I think he's going to put his hands on him. He's going to try to take him down right away.
So Josh Kasee predicts Rob Roy shooting on James as soon as James puts his hands on him.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next fight, which is an interesting fight. Your teammate, Tim Halleck versus Tony Rook. Now, this fight, Josh, I got to say a couple things about before I let you get your two-piece in. But, prior to this fight, there's been controversy on this fight. Tim Halleck came into this fight 2-0 as a pro. The two guys he fought weren't big names, as they never are your first two fights. Kind of like we just talked about earlier with the Clay Conrad fight. You're not going to fight the toughest guys in your first amateur fight. It's just not right. Your first professional fight. Tim had a couple, entry-level pro guys, as he was, dominated him in timely fashion, and got this spot. He was on the lower bracket. Matt Schaefer fell out. Tim Halleck had just won his fight, got to move up into that upper bracket, and is now fighting, Tony Rook, who is, at the time 6-1. His only loss was to last year's champion, Lenny Nelson. The guy has been training for years, been fighting for years. I remember him fighting on my cards 5 years ago, before Tim Halleck even thought about mixed martial arts. And, a lot of people were saying Tim Halleck's in way over his head and he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's just going to be a slaughter on behalf of Rook. Tim Halleck, all the way leading up to this fight, every time I saw him, how do you feel? What do you think? He's like, I'm confident. He's like, I'm going to go in there and kill this kid. He's like, I'm going to go in there and win this fight. There's nothing, not an ounce of doubt in this guy's head. And he went in there, and not only did he knock this guy out, well, he knocked him out, but he choked him out unconscious.
Yeah,
and
that's a true warrior spirit, not ever getting down on yourself or, getting ready to face anything at any time. That's Tim Halleck, man.
Yeah, man. Kid's exciting.
Yeah, none of his fights had lasted over a minute before this. I believe this one, minute 16?
Minute 16, yeah.
And by choke. And a lot of people were doubting him, Tony Rook this, Tony Rook that, but, we knew Tony was going to keep on shooting. I seen Rook throw a leg kick, and I kind of snickered, and I was like, Tim, why don't you show him what a real leg kick looks like? He buckled his leg, folded him down, and as soon as he did that, Rook came shooting in, which I knew he would do. And we've been working on some headlocks and things like that, just on working to get to his back. We never really showed Tim how to finish the front guillotine. We just wanted him to get the lock so he could circle to his back and let him stand back up, because that's what Tim wanted. And I seen how far his hand was underneath. Tim looked over at me, and I said, do it. And, I never yelled at him once. We had our inside voices going on. That's how calm it was. And he went there and took care of business, put him to sleep. And, man, I had the hugest smile on my face after. Anybody that was there, you guys seen me. And I'm just so proud of that kid, and looking forward to helping him get ready for Lenny Nelson.
Absolutely. So that is technically 3 knockouts in a row for Tim. 1 by submission, 1 by choke, and 2 by devastating strikes.
Right.
I don't know, man. Will Lenny Nelson walk out of this cage without being put unconscious first? We're going to find out. That's a tall order. Lenny Nelson is a tough opponent, and one of my favorite fighters. His personality is phenomenal. He does great things for the sport. Halleck has his hands full.
He sure does.
But we thought the same thing going into the Tony Rook fight. So you can't count Halleck out, man. The kid is developing every day.
Well, we moved Halleck here from, where he was staying. He was out in Iron Mountain, out there. But now he's living like less than 20 feet away from the gym. He's training with me and all my training partners. And we're both in the finals. We got a bunch of guys fighting on that card. And we're all going to push each other to strive to be better. We all know Lenny Nelson is game, and he's going to have to work his butt off. But I just hope Lenny doesn't underestimate him, because kind of looked like he was like, oh, who's this guy, when he jumped in the cage and did his interview. But, Lenny just worked hard, because Tim, he is a beast, and I'll be working with him. So.
Now, do you think Lenny Nelson will stand with Tim Halleck? I mean,
oh, yeah.
Lenny Nelson's a stander, man. He likes to stand. Will he stand with Tim?
Yeah, Lenny got reach on him. I mean, Lenny's last fight, he was throwing nothing but head kicks, just trying to deliver that guy.
It's just everything, man. Is punch to kick to punch to kick to knee to punch to kick. It was
right. So I think his stand-up, it's gonna be a little bit. He's gonna be able to stay outside of Tim's range and pick him apart. If he sticks to his game and does what he does right.
Sure.
And Tim's just gonna have to learn how to swim underneath, and we might even have Tim take him down and submit him. You never know.
Well, it's not like he hasn't done it before.
Right on.
Okay, let's move on to the 185-pound fight. We are talking Whisper Goodman versus Will Dickey. I am very interested in hearing your take on this. We have not even spoke of this fight yet.
Yeah, it's in Will's past fights, he's lost his cool a little bit too much and started making mistakes. He gets frustrated out there, and the main thing we were working on with him prior to this fight was like James said, taking pictures, getting people to react, setting things up. And we did a great job with him, a really great job. But, once you go from being the aggressor to, being the counter guy and setting things up, you got to find the happy medium in between. Mm-hmm. And I had the same problem when I fought Chase Beebe. I was when they're a little too calm. I didn't have my aggressiveness, and he suffered the same thing that I went through. And that's not finding that happy medium, because he was out there tick-tacking. And it was a pretty even fight the whole time. The reason the scorecards were so, he lost by like 2 points on every scorecard, it's because he grabbed the cage, and then one was strikes to the back of the head. And, he just got caught in the middle. He didn't, by the time the third round when we told him to turn it on and, open up a little bit, he started to in the end, and that's when he got taken down. And we were working with him, get up off your back. Even though it looked like Will was beating up Whisper from his back.
It did.
But nonetheless, the judges don't look on that. They look at Whisper being on top and controlling him. Mm-hmm. And that's this thing with judges, man. You never know what they're going to do. I mean, you could think you know what they're going to do, mm-hmm. but I've lost fights to judges where I was like totally just dumbfounded, because I was like, really? Mm-hmm. So that's just goes to show that, if you want to win, don't leave it to the judges. Will, he fought a great fight. He definitely should have beat Whisper. I truly believe that, and he's going to be back. I do believe we're trying to get him a fight on the undercard for April. Yeah,
we're going to try to get him on the undercard for April
and
get him a fight.
I'm just glad to see him. He's going to be back in the gym here, and that he's not going to take no time off, and he's serious about it. He knows what he did wrong, mm-hmm. and he's ready to correct it.
Well, those points hurt him. I mean, it was a close fight. I think round 1, Will Dickey, round 2, Whisper Goodman. Round 3, Will Dickey in the first part, Whisper Goodman in the second part.
Right, he took him down and controlled him.
Yeah, I took him down and controlled him. And even to Whisper's defense, Whisper is looking good. I mean, his striking was straight. I mean, I saw better striking out of Whisper than I've seen in a long time.
Great knees from Whisper.
Great knees, and the strength of that man. Whisper is a strong man, and his strength alone is something that's just unbelievable. I was very impressed with the way Will handled his strength, even in the clinches. It was rolling back and forth. Even on the ground, Will was able to strike him, and it didn't seem like Whisper just completely dominated him. I think there was a part here where Whisper did have Will's arm trapped underneath him.
Yeah.
And was doing some damage there, and that's a move Whisper's been doing for years. And he's just kind of done it, and that's just a demonstration of Whisper's sheer strength.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see Will Dickey come back, but we're going to see Whisper move on, and he's moving on to the state finals. Now, prior to this Whisper being on this roster, there's big articles online and everything else. Whisper Goodman wanted to prove he's the best in the state. So he joined the state tournament, and now he's made it all the way to the state finals, but he's going to have to beat last year's champion, who is Gerald Mershart, and Gerald is an absolute beast.
Yeah, and, you know, Gerald from ACS. You know, I love that guy. Had some time to spend with him out in Vegas, and you know, like I said, all the ACS guys are really cool, and I think Gerald is you know, one of their most valued assets over there. He's the youngest. I mean, he's around my age, and he's got twice the experience I got. So they've really been moving him along out there. And Whisper's really gonna have to step up his game because Whispers has left the state and fought for other promotions and things like this, and he fell short. So that's why he's back in the state of Wisconsin trying to prove that, you know, he is a top dog, but he's gonna have a really, really tough road leading into Gerald Meerschaert. Because personally, Gerald Meerschaert is one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, I like
I
him
mean,
a lot.
he'll stand there and bang, but yet, you know, he's a submission guy.
Very well rounded.
Yeah, very well rounded. So, you know, I'll have to go with Gerald on that one.
Yeah, that's a tough fight there, man. Gerald Meerschaert and Whisper Goodman. That's going to be an awesome fight. And the winner of that will rightfully be the number one 185-pound fighter in the state of Wisconsin, and well deserved, no matter who walks out with their hand in the air.
Right on.
All right, so let's cut to a commercial break, but stick around because we're going to do the technique of the week with Ron the Blunt Instrument Faircloth, the new head trainer at Combat Training Center, and lots more action. We'll see you in a minute.
4-ounce Fight Gear, official sponsor of Combat USA. Developed for the fighters, by the fighters. Engineered specifically for today's top MMA fighters. It's not what you want, it's what you need.
It's what I need.
This is what I need.
For more info, check us out at 4ouncefightgear.com.
Bringing it 4 ounces at a time. Get slips.
You're going to be a great champion.
There we go. Beautiful. Take him down. Take him down. There we go.
It's all about fundamental.
You take down, look to the center.
Combat USA Fighting Championship. We are MMA. Wisconsin State Finals, April 22nd, Oneida Casino.
Welcome back from the commercial break to Combat USA, here with Josh Kasee, the last year's 135-pound state champion, and now back in the runnings again this year, moving to the state finals at 145 pounds, going to be fighting Nick Aguilar. Probably the toughest, if not second toughest fight you've had yet in your career.
Yeah, definitely agreed. And if you want to go anywhere in this business, you got to take tough fights. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's where you're at, Josh. That's exactly where you're at in your career. Now's the time to fight the toughest. Do what you do, and I think a lot of doors are going to open up for a guy like you. One, you're an exciting striker. People like to watch strikers. I mean, everybody likes to see a good knockout, and the fighters that are out there willing to stand on their feet. And now, you know, a risk in being a striker is not only knocking people out, but getting knocked out because you're at risk. I mean, you're up there, the possibility is there. A wrestler has a lot less risk of getting knocked out. You know, so, you know, you can always get caught as a striker, but you can always do the catching as a striker, and it's the most exciting to watch. It's cool.
I like to put on a show for the fans, so that's what they want.
Well, that's what it's all about. And that's something that I think Combat USA really brings to the table is the company is about the fighters and about the fans. We try to take all of our energies, put it into showing the fans everything there is about the fighters. You know, just hosting like this, getting your intake on each of these fights, getting your intake on your next fight, and letting the fans see that, I think, is a unique spin that the sport needs.
Agreed.
So, yeah, let's move to the technique of the week. Ron Faircloth, the arm triangle.
Hi, I'm Ron Faircloth, coach at the Combat Training Center. With me is my assistant, Dave Clark. Today, we're going to go over the head and arm choke. out of cross sides again, okay? I'm gonna start with a good ride. I got my underhook, okay? I'm gonna bring this hand underneath the head. Right here, I'm staying up across the shoulders. I don't wanna be over his hips where all his power is, okay? Now, I'm gonna take my arm and force his up. And I'm gonna trap him over here, okay? Now, keeping my head as close to the ground as possible, I'm gonna start locking up, okay? Right here, I just like to go with the gable grip. Now, I'm coming across, and I'm gonna switch sides. Now that I'm deep enough, I figure 4, and I come out. Now, what I like to do is just try to grind my chin up and put it in his eye. And that is a head and arm from cross sides.
Welcome back from the Technique of the Week with Ron the Blunt Instrument Faircloth, the head mixed martial arts trainer down at the Combat Training Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Josh, it's been great having you here. I appreciate your co-hosting.
It's been great to be here, Adam. Thank you for having me.
It was good to get to see the inside the head of Josh Kasee and what he thinks about the state finals coming April 22nd to Oneida Casino and the amazing card that's going to be putting on there. You know, this year, we already won the 2010, last year we already won the 2010 Fight of the Year. The match was Gerald Mershart and Sam Alvey. It was a phenomenal fight. Took Fight of the Year all across the entire state of Wisconsin for 2010. And hopefully we're going to win some other things like, Fight Card of the Year and things like that. But I think this state final is definitely going to hit some awards come for 2011 season.
I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, it's just a phenomenal card and it's going to be explosive. Can't wait to see it.
Fights everybody's wanted. Everybody's wanted to see these fights for a long time. Combat USA had the foresight to be able to put this type of stuff together, and the great team at Combat USA is constantly trying to stay on the cutting edge of mixed martial arts. You want to check them out, It is combatusa.net, and you can also check them out at facebook.com/combatusa. And also, you can see all the March 5th fights on Time Warner Cable. You can see it for free on demand. You may also go to, if you're not in the Wisconsin area and you want to check out these fights, you can also go to gofightlive.com. You can see all the pay-per-view action from the first fight, from this March 5th fight. The April 22nd fight will be live on pay-per-view there, and you'll be able to catch the state finals. So Go Fight Live. You can get that link also through combatusa.net. Josh, got any sponsors? Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, let's not forget, anybody that's following my career, wants to see where I'm going or what I've been doing, why don't you check out the Josh Kasee fan page /Facebook, and look for the website, joshkasee.com, will be up and running here pretty soon. So keep your eyes open and watch for updates.
There you have it. You got any sponsors you want to thank?
Savvy's Italian Cuisine, DirecTV, RNA Cable Contracting. Those guys helped me out ever since last year's finals up until this year. They renewed their sponsorships with me. I like the things they're working with over there, so thanks a lot, guys.
I'll tell you what, guys, those sponsorships are so important. If you got a company out there and you want to get with a great sport and help a guy in his future and his career as a professional athlete, look up your favorite fighter. Josh Kasee's a great guy to get behind. He's an exciting fighter. He's making leaps and bounds. Look him up, check him out, contact him, contact his management. There's great advertising opportunities there for you, and he'll plug you. He'll let everybody know that you're helping him do what he does best, and that is fight. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Combat USA, bringing you MMA looking state to state for the top 8 here on Prime Time, putting it all on the line for this one chance, for this one moment to stand up and shine.